there's so much over this whole time.
Yeah.
And I feel sheepish and foolish because I wanted to trust Moses, and he kind of tells you whatever he thinks you want to hear.
Yeah.
Do you have experience with him at all?
I have spoke to Moses before, yes.
Okay. And he's outright misled, lied. I mean, he's a professional. Okay. I don't know anything about how to operate a computer. Google pay-per-click, I know a little bit about all this stuff. And he did have complete access to our computer. When he was living up there,
Yeah.
he would come down here and shower and use the bathroom facilities.
Yeah.
And part of the deal was, okay, when he moved in, he moved in August of 18. And it was to be temporary because he needed a place to live between leaving where he was at and getting into a new place. Okay? And he was going to be out of here by Christmas of 18. And his wife ended up leaving him a week or two after they moved in.
2 weeks maybe after they moved in.
And, I mean, I felt sorry for the guy. Okay? I didn't, he ended up going, I don't know if you knew, he was in jail for several months. Okay? And I went down and bailed him out with John Hanley. Do you know John Hanley?
I don't. Is he just a bail bondsman?
No, John is a friend of Moses here.
Okay.
And, I want to tell you something that you might want to turn that off for right now.
Okay.
Because you can't?
I can't. Okay. No.
All right.
And if it's something you want to
Okay.
email me later about or something like that, I'll leave my card, and we can do that too.
Okay. Anyhow, so he ended, and I was told that Moses will sponge off you for as long as he can. Okay? I had a couple of people tell me that, and I felt like I was, he's an immigrant, he's trying to do things legally. I wanted to give him a hand. It didn't really, I didn't think it was going to really cost me a lot to, the original deal was he was going to live up there, and he had electric, water, garbage removal, snow removal, okay, free internet, everything. He didn't have any life expenses at all. And the deal was he was going to trade $800 worth of work a month. And at the time, I was also, for that 3-month, 4-month period he was going to be here, because I needed some work done on refining the website. And I was also paying him $1,200 a month. And he ended up going to jail. I still gave him a couple of checks to help him out and said, you can work it off. I bailed him out of jail and said, you can work that off. And he seemed genuinely grateful. But over time, I just realized that I was only being used.
Yeah.
And it took a long time. It drove my wife crazy. Okay. And I have always, she thinks that I try to help people too much. Okay, and I've done this all my life. And so it kind of, nothing ever was ever completed. And so Moses is still here, and the website's, the people that I was with, he told me, they're doing a terrible job. It's a Russian shopping platform. It's about to collapse. I mean, he came up with all these, now I realize they were stories.
Yeah.
Okay? They were just stories.
You don't need him. I can do all this.
Okay. And I went along with it for quite a while. And after about a year, I said, Moses, this is sort of getting out of hand. You've been working at this a long time. So I quit paying him by the month. But I said, you can stay here.
Yeah.
Okay? And I'll give you a commission. All right? So commission based on how well you do the work.
Yeah.
And so that was, living here and having a place to live for free, and commission was his payment, which evolved into now when things fell apart, he's telling me, I own the store, it's in my name, I've worked on this, you never paid me anything. And he's coming up with all these wild fabrications. I mean, stuff like, you forced me to stay here and work for you for free.
Right.
Okay? I would assume that
That's what he's saying now.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, he's coming up with this, and I think it's to divert my attention. He's telling me that stuff. I have that business here. He's telling me I have proof you were using illegal traps. Okay, I mean, he's all these fabrications,
Right.
and I mean, these guys, Chris Middledorf and the guys down there have never had a problem with me. I know Mike Middleton, Jim Haskins, the guys that retired.
Yep.
We have a good relationship.
Yep.
Okay. Every time I relocate an animal, I call Christy down there and report that. So I've got a good relationship with Parks and Wildlife.
Right.
But he's coming up with this. You know, it's like he's trying to divert attention from what's going on over here.
Yeah.
So, anyhow, he owns the store.
However, we pay the monthly bill on Shopify,
Okay.
on our credit
Yeah,
card.
it's set up on our credit card.
Okay.
Okay. And come on, you might want to. I'm
where
sorry,
do you
we have
wanna-
two different buildings.
Yeah. It's okay.
We have records in here of what we paid. And I've literally given him tens of thousands of dollars. Okay.
Yeah.
And we were. You have the information that I provided 14 months ago.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And I have it if you need it.
Yeah. I probably will want to review it again.
Okay, that's fine. Do you want me to
Is that
recount
PayPal?
that? You want me to recount that here, or would you rather just review it?
Can we sit down somewhere and start kind
Yeah,
of?
you want to do
sure.
it in the house? Yeah.
I met your dad through Bill Engel a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
You know Bill?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Bill.
Bill and Tammy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went to church with them, and we were good friends, and he kind of mentored me a little bit. And now he's in Arkansas.
Yeah, I'd heard that.
Yeah,
I
he's
haven't-
building a house. They sold their house in Hayden, and
Uh-huh.
he's building something out in Arkansas.
Oh,
and-
I didn't know that.
yeah, they've got a whole thing going. So small world.
Yeah.
My shoes okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
So come on in.
Why don't you let
Now
him?
I don't even know where to start. There's so much of it. Okay.
Of course you don't.
Now
Why don't you sit here? You'll be closer.
Yeah,
to the
yeah, yeah.
papers.
That's perfect.
Okay, so here's one of the
Can I get you
things
some
that
water?
I'm fine. Thank you, Dylan.
this is the latest scam. Okay. And I was writing checks out of True North First checkbook.
And that's the company that you own.
I own this company.
Okay.
Okay. And I told Moses, I'm not writing any more checks to you. And he said, well, just write that to Google and we'll deposit it in your account.
Okay.
Okay. And come to find out, I don't even have a Google account.
Okay.
Okay. And and what I wrote these things out for, okay,
So,
okay, he said we needed to close this account so we could open up a better, more efficient account. This one got closed out.
okay.
Okay, I had to pay them $1,240 for stuff that was supposedly due. And
Okay.
I'm finding out this is all fabrications. Okay, I was writing checks from this account to Google Ads, to the account of True North Furs Google Ads marketing. Okay,
True North Furs Google Ads.
okay, this is all. And I thought that I had Moses lined out after we caught him living out of our PayPal debit account. I never even had the card, nor did Bonnie.
We never.
This was. Go ahead.
We never even knew that there was an account.
Let me see if I have these.
And our nephew was here. And so he's on the computer and he's just checking around. And he says, oh, you've got 3 different credit
Morning.
cards. And I said, no, we only have 2.
Yes.
And so this third credit card shows up, you know. Like if you were going to click on something, which card do you want to use?
Yes.
So that clicks up. So then, and we wouldn't know how to do this. We wouldn't know how to do it. So Sean goes in to see what the charges are.
Give me a call back. Thanks. Bye.
Not only is it the car, and I have copies of these charges. We were
Right.
able to print them out.
Okay.
It's not only the car that he bought,
It
but
was
it's,
almost $10,000 worth of
yeah, it's the,
restaurants, hardware stores, gasoline.
yeah, Fiesta
The car-
Jalisco, Safeway,
So he had
Steamboat Lumber. And even though we always use Alpine, so we never shop Steamboat Lumber. And I
Okay.
was like, we don't shop Steamboat Lumber. So that's how we never would have found it if Sean hadn't gone in there.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you'd reported the card to me. This was part of our initial report.
that was
we
the
did.
initial one, and
Yeah.
Moses came up with, I'm sorry, I was going to pay this back out of my commission. All this,
Yeah,
what?
let's
And I
have the
said,
story.
look, we're going to work. We can work together because I wanted it to be a symbiotic relationship where it benefited both of us. And I was being stupid.
And Jake, back to
Okay.
that debit card. Number one, we didn't know that it was in our name. And,
No, I did know that it was in our name.
okay.
We had a debit card, but the thing is, things were being delivered by FedEx and UPS up here,
Yeah.
and I think Moses had it diverted. I mean, it got left with him, and he started using it.
And I just want to be clear, because I'm trying to remember back to our initial report, that he had told you that you needed this card
To pay Google.
to pay Google for ads.
Yes.
Okay. And then so you went through the process of actually obtaining the card, but you never got the physical card.
That's
you never
correct.
received it.
Yes.
And then
Some of this
You're-
Bonnie doesn't realize, and it because I've tried to shield her a little bit from some of this stuff because she's 72 years old. This has been really hard. Moses has taken our business away from us.
yeah.
Okay.
And retirement.
So, and that's another charge. Is anybody over 70?
That's at-risk adult, or could
Okay.
be considered.
Well, it's
Yeah.
considered
An
a
at-risk.
person in a position of trust that if financially or physically abuses an older person, there are enhanced.
Yeah. Yes.
charges.
Yeah. I'm aware. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's your son, correct, who sees the account?
Nephew.
Our nephew.
Your nephew, and it's linked to a PayPal. So
Debit card.
So when you go on to any service online and it says how would you like to pay, and you can choose to pay through PayPal, and that was one of the
And
options,
our
correct?
PayPal account no longer works.
Of no doing of your own.
Right.
Okay. And has
Moses somehow still is in our computer. I'm almost positive. Okay, and he says that he's saying that he has no access. I mean, he's really just lying through his teeth all the time now.
Yeah.
Tom at Blue Channel, who was actually, as it turns out, was doing a very good job. Moses convinced me that there was a glitch with the payment system. Moses told me that they had used some cheap Russian platform for a shopping cart, and he could fix this, and he could do this, and he could do this, and I believed him.
Right.
I believed him.
So the PayPal, I just want to be clear on the little details, and I'm sorry if I slow this down a little bit, because we've already kind of talked
Take
about
your
it, but I
time.
want to make sure we get the details. The PayPal account was whose PayPal account?
True North Furs.
True North first
Okay,
had the
and then
PayPal account.
we actually had several PayPal accounts. They were coming and going.
But the one that your nephew found the charge on was for True North first.
It was for True North Furs.
Okay.
Okay.
Al, you want me to get the file and I'll see what the credit card says? Because we
Yeah,
got the credit card
if
back.
you want to. Now we can go. This is the original instance I called you about. Okay?
Yes.
And it's kind of been things fell apart here in December when I told Moses we're kind of changing gears right here. Okay. so I can kind of give you an outline, and we can go back to wherever you want to start filling things.
Okay.
in.
Yep, I'm good with that.
So here's the deal: is we spent here. This was True North for a domain name. We bought a domain. This was another domain that we bought that Moses said that we needed. It's going to enhance.
Says Al's name.
Okay. Now this is Google True North for ads. There's the $1,000 Bing ads. Okay, I never saw any of our ads on Bing.
Okay.
That's $1,500. Google AdWords. There's another $1,000 check. Okay, now we start getting into big money because we're primarily a Christmas and Valentine's Day based business.
Right.
Okay. This was for the Google Shopping Bar, Photo Bar products. I never saw our ads on the shopping bar. Okay. Google pay-per-click. Smart Shopping, $1,500 for that, and I wrote a $3,000 check.
Smart shopping is part of Google also.
Yes. Here's $2,000. Google Ads pay-per-click. Okay. Here's another domain name, realfurblanket.com. None of these, he never did what he said he was going to do.
Okay.
Okay. But it was made out to Google.
Okay.
Adobe Photoshop. There was a little bit of work done because I got on him pretty hard. I said, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And he did do a little bit of work. Now, here, and he came to me in September and was crying, and he was broke, and he didn't have any money for gas, and I gave him an advance on commission, okay? $200. He's not working for any payment. He's working on performance.
Right.
Commission is based on performance.
Yeah. You
Okay.
stopped payment like at least a year prior.
Oh,
to
yeah.
this,
Oh,
yeah.
2 years, I think.
It was purely just based on commission from sales from the website.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and now he's telling me that I need to pay him for his work. And so he's holding our store hostage. And we did about $140,000 worth of business last December, January, February.
Okay.
Okay? Nothing this year. Nothing. I shouldn't, no, I'm wrong.
Yeah, you don't want to say that.
Where is that? Okay.
Oh,
Anyhow,
this
to
one?
make a long story short,
This one, Al?
okay, that's the total sales.
So
I wrote him, I think it was $28,000 worth of Google ads,
yeah.
okay? And we researched this together, and a small business, online business for marketing, it said that it could afford to pay anywhere from 5 to 15 to 20%. So we figured on 15%. And do you have those agreements that we signed?
Yeah, so there's agreements where they've both signed them. It's on paper in here.
If we did, if we did $300,000, 15% of that 300,000, because we did 255 one year. And Moses was in charge of marketing, then whatever we spent on Google Ads, okay, and Moses would be 15% of total sales, which is huge because cost of goods is 50% of sales. And then you got the cost of operating a business. I built that building out there for the business.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's really down about, 15% is as much as I make.
Right. So you're basically giving them half of.
Well,
That's a
Of
bunch of
what's
signed
left,
stuff
pretty
from
much.
you guys.
okay. This is where we were working this out for the 21-22 season.
Okay.
We figured 300,000 would be satisfied. 400,000 very happy. 500,000 ecstatic. I signed it. That's Moses' signature. If you can,
And Moses.
none of his signatures are
Yeah,
legible,
legible,
and
yeah.
they're all kind of different.
Okay.
And those numbers are all written in his handwriting, in Moses' handwriting.
Yeah, this is all Moses is the one that wrote that up and wanted me to sign it. I said, I'm fine. I'm good with that. I even made an additional bonus. Okay, if the first year we did $500,000 for online business, I Will Sell Moses. I own lot 67 in Horseback. Okay, there's some down there that sold in the high 20s and low 30s.
Okay.
I said I'll sell it to you for $1. I signed it. He signed it.
Okay.
This was supposed to be entirely based on commission and bonuses. There was no wage, salary,
Right.
anything, plus him living here.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. So
Did you guys meet that 500,000?
Oh, no.
No.
you see,
We did it.
we did about total for the year. We probably did 50.
Okay. Okay.
we,
So
we lost money. We didn't make
Yeah.
a profit. We lost money. Okay, and Moses is continuing to lose his money because he has our store hostage. No one can buy anything.
it's basically shut down for e-commerce at this point.
Okay, yes, it is shut down for e-commerce. Okay. And it has been since about the first week of December. Okay. Now there's a bunch more texts here, and some of this. Did you see how many pages of texts John got?
No, I did not yet.
It's like 120.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's more here because some of this. Here, this is him on the left with the red. As far as the Shopify store that I have created and worked on for a year without pay. Okay, he's saying he's changing the whole thing. Okay. Are you following me on all this? Tell
I am.
me where you need.
I am, but I'm gonna let you try to get the story out. And
So,
I mean, I understand what you're saying, where he's trying to misdirect and say, "You owe me." He doesn't want himself looked into. He's trying to make you feel like the bad guy.
exactly.
I very much understand
Okay.
what he's trying to do there.
I told him this wasn't a successful season. It was a loser. Here, you can read that stuff. I'm sorry, I have customers that call. I have two businesses.
Al, that might be, what's your name? I wouldn't
Oh
answer.
yeah, it is.
I wouldn't answer it right
I'll
now.
call them back this afternoon.
So Jake, I'm gonna have to leave at about 10:30.
Okay.
I didn't realize it when I made the appointment, but Bonnie's hair appointments take 2 months to get. You're married?
I am. I understand. My wife goes to Grand Junction to get her hair done, so it's like her old hairstylist Gretchen here moved to Junction, and so she followed her down. So I totally
Don't have
understand. Yeah. So he's saying he gave Tom, and who is Tom?
Tom is the owner of BlueChannel.com that was doing the work and built the website originally. As it turns out, he was probably doing a good job, and there was a glitch. And then Moses glommed onto that glitch.
Okay.
And said, I can do it all. You don't need to be paying Tom.
Okay. What stuff is he claiming that you are holding hostage?
That I'm holding hostage?
Yeah, he says he'll give you the Shopify account in exchange for his property.
His
Oh,
trailer.
his trailer is still up there, and I asked him until we get this cleared up, please don't come back on the property.
Okay.
Now, in the beginning of December, when I told him, Moses, we've written $28,000 worth of checks to Google AdWords in 3 months, okay, less than 3 months, and we haven't even had that much in sales.
Right.
Okay, I'm not writing any more checks until we figure out what the problem is. He said there is no problem. It's just your people outbid you. said, Moses, $28,000 in 3 months is a lot of money. Okay, and I don't even see my ads popping up half the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Come to find out, and talking with other people, okay, even though it's True North Furs, okay, made out to Google, all right, for True North Furs ads. Okay, Moses is depositing these more than likely in his Google account and diverting money other places.
Okay. So when you write these,
This check right here, you'll figure this out real quick. I said, Moses, I'm writing too many $2,000 and $3,000 checks. So I gave him $5,000. Okay? And he took it, and he came back a couple days later and said, Google will not accept $5,000 checks.
Has to be under 5,000.
okay,
You
and
He
why?
follows.
well, okay. Come to find out, so I wrote him a $3,000 check. He gave the check back to me, and it sat in that
The
box
$5,000 check.
he gave
Is
it
that right
back to
over
me
there?
about the 1st of October.
Okay.
And it sat in, see that little box behind the phone?
Yeah.
Okay, it sat right there. Every time we walked past or picked up the telephone, I'm looking at this $5,000 check. Moses had endorsed it. Okay?
Okay.
And it was sitting right there for 7 weeks. And I'm starting to think, why? What's going on? What's the problem here? Okay? And Moses came inside because I wanted to show him this checkbook and say, Moses, look, this is how much is going on. Everything, something's wrong here. Something's really wrong. We're looking at this check on the top of that box for 7 weeks.
Every day. I
When
don't
he
tell
walked
myself.
out, okay, the check disappeared.
Okay.
So I stopped payment
And
on
I
the
asked
check.
him, Moses, why did you take that check?
He swears he
denied it.
didn't.
Okay. But check's gone.
The check's gone.
Okay.
I mean, and I noticed it less than an hour after he left.
Was anybody else in the house between that
No.
time?
Oh, no. It was
The three of
fine.
us were here. And you took a phone call and went to the porch. And he stood over here. You know, he's always on his phone or his tablet.
Yeah.
And he stood up against the cabinet. And I think he saw it. I went, oh, that's an opportune time. You know,
Yeah.
He took it back.
I don't think like a thief. So
So once you guys noticed the check was gone, you said you noticed almost immediately
Well,
that-
I told
because you
Bonnie,
had seen it so repeatedly in that same location.
in 7 weeks, every time you pick up the phone, every time we walk
yeah,
over
we
to
saw
go
it
out the
within an
door,
hour.
Okay.
go into the bathroom, I mean, we probably saw it hundreds of times.
So I see you voided and you've stopped payment
Mm-hmm.
on the January 18th of this year. that
That's
correct?
Bonnie,
Oh,
January
that's a-
12th, or November 12th.
Yeah, 11. Okay. No,
November
I
12th.
didn't
November
stop
12th. It was there
payment
from-
until it disappeared.
It was there
Right.
from about the 23rd of September, and that's the day that it happened, and it disappeared, and that's when Bonnie stopped payment on that check. So it was there from about the 23rd of September until the 12th of November.
So you think about the 12th of November it went missing.
When we noticed it was gone, I said, stop payment on that check. Just in case. And the 12th of November is when things kind of started going downhill somewhat. But that's also when our peak sales season is. Okay? So I'm kind of panicky. Nothing's selling. So, I mean, you can add, if you want to add all these up, all these Google checks. $3,000, $3,000, $2,000, $3,000. And I wrote True North Furs pay-per-click ads on everything.
Yeah.
Now, I figured out that, you know why he was wanting $2,000 and $3,000 checks? because the bank records anything is required to record anything that's $5,000 and above.
Okay.
This all kind of, when I started really thinking hard about it, I mean, he is a pro.
Did you ever figure out who Solid Core is?
That's Moses.
Yeah.
Moses has so many emails in different businesses. We were getting, can you show him the bills from Solid Core?
Yeah.
Moses had access to our credit cards.
So these are charges all on this debit card. And
To be clear, the debit card that was you guys never
get this
received.
guy.
That we never had. I had to take that away from him in front of witnesses.
And he handed it to you.
He handed
He
it to
did.
me.
He did. He was reluctant.
Yeah. Do you remember? And we probably have previously.
At
talked
first
about
he
this,
said,
but-
I don't have a debit card. And I got pretty angry about that.
Yeah.
And Sean was still here.
Sean was here and watched it. Erica was here.
His ex-wife was here. She just happened to be up there. And we're all standing up at the driveway of the trailer.
So it was Erica, his ex-wife, Moses, my nephew Sean, Bonnie, and I. And I forced him to give me that card.
Okay.
That at first he said, I don't have a debit card. You have the debit card. I said, Moses, no, I don't.
Okay. And did he pull it out of his wallet, his pocket? Do you remember?
He went in his trailer and got it.
Went in his trailer. So, Eric, is that your guys' nephew? Or who?
Sean.
Sean. Excuse me.
S-E-A-N.
Sean is your nephew.
Erica is
His ex-wife.
his ex-wife who happened to be here.
Okay. I'm almost certain that we will have her information.
Well, he had a kind of a row with her.
Okay.
All this R&B cars, that's the car.
That's the car that
Yep.
that he bought out of our account.
Yep.
That's the car that's sitting at Fox Creek Business Park around back.
Yeah.
It still doesn't have any. He didn't have insurance on it. When I said, Moses, do you have insurance on that? And he said, no, I don't need it.
Okay.
Okay, it's registered. And as far as I understand, what was her name? Angie something. Angie went down with him. She also loaned him money to help buy it. The car was 6,000 something, and he took 2,000 and 3,000 and 2,000 out of our debit card account.
Yeah.
So why he told her she needed more money, and I don't know how much she gave him,
I don't either.
but she did take him down. She thinks the car is in her name, and she's afraid of that.
Yeah, and she is included in our previous report because she had called in
Oh,
and
good.
provided information. So I do have
Well,
contact
he was
information.
stealing
about-
from her, but she couldn't. She never figured out how he was stealing from
Yeah.
her. Her husband was upset where all the money's gone.
Yeah.
And I don't know Angie or Bonnie. How do you know Angie?
I knew her because she bought Stacy's granite,
Oh, yeah,
Columbine granite.
I got you.
Yeah. And Moses brought her out here one day.
Yeah, to look at the stuff. Ooh, this is Moses. Okay, here we go. This is a new text from Moses.
Okay.
Okay. Now look at this. Okay. He's telling me, I brought your business back from the dead. And he ruined it. And made you more money than any one of the, some of these aren't. He said, yeah, you hired me when Tom had fucked up your website and it was dead. And it wasn't. All right? So and Moses was supposed to have last year, and by the end of September, he did not have the thing ready. And the season's starting.
Yeah.
So I went to Greg Effinger, okay, and Greg did a poor job too. And and I paid him $8,000.
But Moses suggested.
He's saying, you
that
think
I'll
I
go to
didn't
break."
work enough hours on your website? Look, for the amount of money he's gotten. Okay. Here's the other thing. First thing, number one, you're supposed to report trades to the IRS that have a value. The IRS requires that.
Okay.
Okay. Now he's saying, as I said, I'm not going to argue ownership of the store. I'll let you have. Here, you start reading there and read what transpired. He makes agreements, and then he flip-flops. I said, Moses, you give me back my
Let him
store,
read out.
you come and pick up your stuff.
There's a lot of $500 payments here from payment from Trimworth Furs completing $500.
Yeah, to who?
Doesn't say.
I mean, I think the guy, but he might have stolen 50 grand from us. I'm just pulling a number out of the air.
Oh, baby.
Do you see where we made an agreement?
Yeah.
Here's one I kept out.
So he says, so this is today, right? When my lawyer is ready, I'm not sure if it's going to be today because it's Valentine's Day. You can meet with them, you can sign that you have no other demands on me, and I give this to you, and you will never press any charges or threaten to press any charges against me. Then you can have everything.
And he said that a few times.
I was paying him to work on the website, okay, through rent and through
Let's
commission.
read what he
And now
just
he's
sent.
saying that,
Yeah.
and he is the owner. He put himself as the owner.
Right.
I'm just an administrator with limited access.
Yeah.
Oh, this is long. 10:23. Okay.
So we made an agreement. He proposed it. I agreed to it, and now he's changed everything again.
Yeah.
I mean, is that what you got out of that?
Yeah, it sounds like he's trying to say, I'm not going to give you anything unless you agree to not pursue criminal charges.
Exactly.
Now, if I agree not to press criminal charges, can I or can I not press criminal charges
Well, if you agree into
under duress?
well, I gotta think about this because
Well, take your time.
Yeah.
I get it.
I mean, I know that your goal all along has been to gain control of everything, first and foremost, out of fear that he would
Do this.
retain everything, and you are left with some criminal charges against him, but still no business to operate.
Right.
So,
And I've got $500,000 worth of inventory out there.
yeah,
They can't.
it's not going anywhere.
Right.
Um,
Now, can I show you some stuff on the computer?
yeah.
Let's go out while she reads that. We'll come back in. But
Okay, I'm almost done and then I'm leaving. I'll bring you your phone when I read this out.
And Bonnie printed out some stuff where he was talking about working, trade rent for work.
Yeah.
I'm almost to the point of just saying, screw it. I'll give it all up just so I can press charges on the guy. Okay? Because I honestly tried to help the guy,
Yeah.
and his whole goal was just
Yeah. And I want to be honest with you, just to be, educated in your decision making. Yeah, that looks like a lot of inventory.
upstairs is where most of it is.
Right now what I see as, we have evidence of him using the card. Fraudulent use of a financial
that can be
transaction
proven.
device.
That
Right.
part can be proven.
The part that's going to require so much more follow-up that honestly I'm going to get a detective involved in if we go down this route is finding out where all that Google ad money went. And if he's representing to you that it's going to Google and he's putting it in a personal bank account and not doing anything with it, that requires
Well, it probably went into his Google account under my heading, True North First.
yeah.
And I'm guessing he was diverting money to other customers, to his own ads, to
Yeah, and that's just going to require an immense amount of follow-up, which we're fully capable of doing. It does take time to figure out and pull, basically warrants to the bank, to produce records, to show where all his finances and your finances went. Does that make sense?
Yes. And you might possibly want to take some pictures of some of this. And okay, now here's something that Tom sent me from Blue Channel. He's trying to get this stuff back from Moses. Okay. And this is what he sent me. We're unable to continue corresponding with Moses. When you're able to gain the requested Shopify admin domain in Google Workspace access to your accounts, please let us know. This is what he needed. Okay?
Google account link to login, username, password. Okay, so they have everything except for the password. And then Moses will need to transfer store ownership. This is where you're saying he owns the shopping cart. Right? Am I correct there?
Yes, which controls the store.
Okay.
Okay, so let me now Moses has access right now today to everything I'm sending out. Okay, now I'm only guessing at that, and the reason I'm guessing at that, see that little airplane down there?
Yeah.
That just popped up not long ago.
Okay.
Within a month. Okay. And I clicked on it. There's a hidden network with a lock on it.
Right.
So I click on it, hidden network. And
And
says-
it's set to automatically connect to that one.
So he knows. He's been. I mean, he's been. Can I prove this? No.
Right. I mean, there's probably somebody with enough computer forensic expertise, but I'm letting you know it's not me, and it's not.
It's not
You know,
me for sure.
that's-
And
yeah.
I get it because this stuff. I would rather than working on a computer, I'd rather be buried up to my neck in an anthill and covered with honey.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't like it.
Gotcha. I gotcha.
And go ahead and sit down.
So
right
it's
there.
been so that hidden network has. You've noticed it in the last month?
Yeah. Now, when I told Moses I'm not writing any more checks to Google,
Yeah.
that's when, and that was the beginning of 8th, 9th, 10th of December,
Yeah.
until we figure out there's no sales coming in. Okay, sales, I'm spending, here. He and I researched what a reasonable, this is starting to run out of money.
Okay, here's your phone. Jake, nice to meet you. Thank you for your help.
Nice to meet you, and I'm sure we'll be in touch and we'll chat more.
I have a feeling. All right, dear.
Okay, Eric called this morning. The painter might show up, but it'd be after 1. Mm-hmm. And he might not. So he would be the only one today.
You'll be back by then.
Okay.
I told you, Moses and I figured out what a reasonable budget was, doing some research. And it's kind of all over the map. But this was some of the stuff that, now when we did 250, and I have competitors, and some of my competitors are friends. Okay? Keith Landis is back in Chardon, Ohio.
Okay.
He owns a construction business, and he's doing over $1 million a year on the internet selling fur blankets
Okay.
and pillows. FurSource started up after us, and they were actually copied some of our photos.
Oh.
Okay, and was on his website. And I had people all over the internet copied our photos because I've spent a lot of money on our photos. He's doing $8 to $9 million. Built a big building up in Winnipeg. Okay, so I know. I mean, there's a bunch of people. The whole fur business is pretty small, and I know a bunch of people in it.
Yeah.
So, is it possible to do $1 million? Yes, it is. And we wrote. Oh, Bonnie took it down. Has it? Anyhow, we agreed on 15%. This one says the U.S. Small Business Administration suggests you allocate 7 to 8% of your gross revenue to your marketing budget.
Okay.
We researched what a fledgling online business should do, and we agreed on 15%. And we have an agreement that's in there that I think I showed it to you. If we did $300,000, that means $45,000 would be split for Moses through the marketing, pay Google, and whatever's left is his. Okay, but he was going to have to do some blogs and stuff like that. And if we did $500,000, there would be $75,000 there.
Okay.
Okay, and I said, Moses, whatever you spend on Google and the blogs and everything, whatever's left over is yours, and I'll sell you a lot for $1.
Yeah.
Okay, and I was really trying to provide a big impetus.
Yeah.
And he signed that. He wrote up to 300, 400, 500. And now his big, I know what he's afraid of. He's afraid I'm going to press charges. And he's making up all this stuff about I didn't pay him.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's something else. When I went down a year ago, I went down to the sheriff's office. Okay. And 2 days later, I didn't mention anything to anybody except Bonnie, my wife.
Yeah.
And Moses knew about it and said, John Hanley found out through his connections at the sheriff's office that you're trying to get me in trouble. And I went right to Garrett and talked about that. And when I contacted you, okay, and John, Moses knew about it in 2 days. It's on here.
Yeah.
He says, I hear you're trying to get me in trouble again. Do you know who John Hanley is?
I'm not familiar, but
John Hanley is a very rich man here in town.
okay.
And he and Moses are friends.
Okay.
Okay? So, I'm sure I can find it, but there's so many. If you want to see it, I can.
Yeah, you have a very long chain with Moses on there. Do you?
So it's a little bit frightening when something leaks out of the sheriff's office.
It absolutely is, and I definitely want to know more about this because I can tell you from my perspective, and when we get information, just like when I'm gonna take this information back and sit down over the next couple days and start trying to type up supplemental report and talk to, my supervisor will have to approve the report, and then our records department has to approve the report. So a lot of people do see what's going on, and they know what's going on in the office. Obviously, our lieutenant should know what's going on. So there's a lot of potential for.
I get it. I'm not wandering around the axle about it, but I'm concerned for sure.
Yeah.
He seems to know almost right away what I'm doing.
Right. And I can guarantee with all of our contacts, we've never contacted him in regards to this case.
Now, here's something else that he's kind of denying. He says, I hope you have that in writing about the $800 a month, because you're going to need that to bring that to court. You know, a verbal agreement, especially, I think there's probably enough evidence that he even alluded to it himself. Okay? If he wasn't working on a trade for rent and commission, why did he never give me a bill?
Right.
Not once.
Right. Yeah. And verbal, in a civil court situation, right, verbal agreements are acceptable so long as both parties agree that it occurred. Right. So we handshake, you know, I'm going to sell you a car, I'm going to buy a car from you, but then something goes awry, payment isn't made, you go to civil court over it. And one party's like, I never agreed to that. There's going to be an issue whether that was, you know, an actual agreement. Yeah.
And he's telling me that I'm false charges, all kind. I mean, I don't know where he gets this stuff.
Right.
So some of this you have. There's a lot of it that you don't. Now, NDS is are the people that downloaded that. Okay, and NDS, I contacted them and said I want some cameras put in. Okay, and I went down and got a copy of a lot of these texts put on one of those that little metal thing.
Yeah, a little thumb drive.
Thumb drive. Okay, and I emailed John. And Moses knew about it. And I got an email. Something happened. Because when I was down there, they said, we'd be happy to put cameras in for you. When they were copying all these texts. Mm-hmm. Moses' office is right next door to them. And here's what, something happened. I don't know what it is. So then I get this.
I said too many commitments.
It went from, we'd be happy to do that for you. When do you want us out?
We can't do it. And that was just this week. Last week.
The 5th, yes. I was gone down at the Colorado Trappers Association sale where Parks and Wildlife sells all their bears and lions. Mm-hmm. Okay. And we had 189 bears and 89 lions down there.
Is that pretty large for previous years?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. They're killing a lot of them.
Yeah.
So we're kind of, and then so I responded back. Thank you for the reply, John. Who might you recommend locally? And he replied, Western Security.
Yeah.
So something happened, and Moses is pretty aggressive, verbally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your suspicion is that Moses kind of strong-armed him into not wanting to put your system in.
I don't think Moses is tough enough to strong-arm somebody. Okay, I wrestled in high school and college. All right.
Very good.
And I've had multiple surgeries lately, but Moses kind of backs down when you bristle.
Yeah.
But he's very aggressive. Okay. And I mean, I don't know why I was so blind for so long.
Yeah.
But all this, when I quit writing checks, is when it all really came to a head.
Yeah. Okay.
So, what do you want to? I think I would bet money that the checks that I was writing to Google, I wrote half that many checks last year and generated over $100,000 worth of business in the same time frame.
Yeah. So I think what we need to do is we need to shore up the debit card stuff and just make that rock solid. Make sure we have all the information we need for that. You obviously keep very good records, but if it'd be okay if I could just photograph all of the
course.
checks that you sent,
Yeah.
so we'll have record. It'll be included in the report, and then we can talk about.
Yes, we'll go ahead and keep talking. I'm gonna click into the store right now. This
Yeah.
is okay. This is our Shopify store. Right there. I can't even respond. One order to fulfill. Okay, because we do have an organic ranking, but that's plummeting. Okay.
Okay.
And none of these have changed, but here, look down here. If I can find this, something's changed here now. All right, I'm locked out of all this stuff. Customers, finances. He's got our bank account numbers on there. Okay, he's got our PayPal on there. He's holding us hostage and demanding money. Okay,
Yeah.
is that a crime?
Again, this is complex. I need to sit down with one of our detectives and have a conversation about potential for all that, because it's like I said, it is complex. You know, him setting the store up in his name as the owner of the store and having you only as administration.
There's been some changes made in this too. Here. Let me show you something. Some of this has been changed. And I'm glad I took a picture of this, because here it is right here. And over here, store owner, Monday, February the 7th. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm staff now.
Yeah.
I did used to be the owner,
Okay.
supposedly. Okay? I went in and tried changing passwords on January 30th and February the 7th. Okay, that, you can see right here, okay, users and permissions. That's gone. That's gone. All this stuff. Can you figure that out? I mean,
Do you mind if I just scroll
ahead.
out just a little bit?
Let me click on settings down here and see. Oh, I clicked on settings and says you need permission to view this page. Email the account owner access to get to this.
Can you click on? You can't click on users and permissions there.
Here we go. Okay, it's there. Now, there's a lock on one of these. I can't get in.
Yeah, and your screenshot, they were. Mr. Mosi at ABD.
That's a new email that I've never seen.
Okay.
He's got more emails than Carter has bills. And he has taken money out of our bank accounts. Our PayPal was connected to our bank account for overdraft protection. Okay? So when he was living out of our debit card, money was coming out of our savings.
Okay. I saw there was an overdraft page printed out with that.
Yeah.
So you described this as the True North Furs shopping cart.
This is the shopping cart, yes. Okay. And I'm sure that you're going to have questions, because I would like to get this to stick. Because he has done it to other people, and I'm sure he's going to do it to more people. Angie, the girl that Bonnie knew that Moses brought out here, called us and said, I had big problems with Moses. There was money disappearing, and
Yeah. She called primarily to tell about the car sale, and she was concerned about the vehicle, and stated that she had helped with the purchase of that.
we
Yeah.
saw where he took the money out of our account to
Yeah.
do it,
Yeah.
and he scammed her out of more money.
Yeah. So let's go get photos. Is there anything else you want to show me out here?
Oh, there's all kinds of stuff. I'd have to start thinking about it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just like down here when this little airplane popped up. Okay, and there's a hidden network that's got a lock on it that's monitoring me.
Yeah.
I did shout out. He had a mobile hotspot too that I was paying for.
Yeah.
Okay, it was on our credit card.
For like a Verizon hotspot or something
Yeah.
like that. Okay.
I mean, there's all these. I'm sure I have not found the stuff that he's.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
He had. I didn't realize it, but it wasn't kosher. You're not supposed to hook up provide internet to someone else.
Right.
I mean, the guy is just, he sponges off everybody. He abuses everybody. He had, this could, I don't even know what this is. It could be still going up there to his trailer.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not tech savvy like that either. So
Well,
let's get
you're younger
pictures.
than me. You should be better than me.
I mean, I'm okay, but like I look at that and I'm like, I don't know what it is either. So.
I got it. Well, look, any questions you have, please ask me. And I'm gonna write down and try to document the stuff. Because, I mean, it's like this has been monitoring my computer.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm sure that I'm not sure. I would bet money that he's following it on every email.
Yeah. Well, you've been a cash cow for him. You know, it's worked out well. Why would he not? If his intentions are as you're describing, it makes sense. So I mean, let's go inside. I want to get pictures of all the checks, the debit card situation, and then I'm gonna schedule a meeting with our. I'm not gonna schedule a meeting. I'm just gonna go to their office, talk to our detectives, and see if we can't get some guidance on how to proceed with the shopping cart situation.
And, I'm sorry about providing you a tangled web, but I'm hoping that there's enough evidence there. I mean, I think there's enough evidence with the first,
Yeah.
the PayPal debit card.
Yeah.
Okay. I would bet that there's plenty of evidence with the Google payments that I was making.
Yeah, and again, it's just looking into where was this check cashed, what account was it put into, and then getting bank records for that account to see where money was dispersed. So it's kind of a 3-step process just to figure out
And I can't.
where your money went.
I mean, you can see he proposed an agreement, made an agreement. I agreed to it, and now he's completely changed it.
Yeah.
And he does that continually.
Yeah.
You can't rely on him.
Yeah. Have you ever actually had contact from a lawyer of his?
But his no. No, he doesn't.
So we're not sure he even has a lawyer, or if that's just
Well, I'm sure at this point you kind of understand. I'm not believing anything he says.
right.
He's just full of lies.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've literally given him tens of thousands of dollars, okay, and 40 months of rent. for your life.
Yeah.
So you can. This is just. This starts at November. No, it doesn't either. I'm sorry. Okay, this starts. Oh, here's a good one. The sale of pelts on the internet, can skins, is pretty big. And I made an offer to Moses. You build the website. I already have the pelts. I'm carrying the inventory. You build the website, and we'll split the profit. Okay? I thought that was a pretty generous offer. It doesn't cost me anything. Okay? He just provides a little bit of work to create another. You know what you can build a website for today?
Not much.
Right, and a little bit of effort, and I said, we'll split the profit. So I went, and on BigCommerce, this was advertising for pelts, and we never got it up. He never did anything. I mean, I don't know, he may have BigCommerce that went to one of his other clients, the money. He may have directed it somewhere else. I don't know.
Right.
So. But you can take pictures of all that stuff right there.
Do you know, as far as you're aware, that this is the entirety of the transactions made on the debit card?
I never made a single one.
Right.
Bonnie never made a single one.
Once you got it back, about what date do you remember? I think.
No, Bonnie has it. Wasn't it connected to here? Here. That's it. Neither one of us has ever used that one time.
Right. Do you remember about what date that you confronted him to get it back?
Yeah, right about Sean. That was when Sean was out here. I took him elk hunting. Okay, my nephew. So that would have been Thanksgiving of 20. And I didn't want everything to blow up right then. Because, like I said, we do probably 85% of our yearly sales in November and the first several weeks of December. And then we have a shot in the arm for Valentine's Day. And then it pretty much dies.
Yeah. So the last purchase that it's showing made would have been on around
Is that the last
Thanksgiving.
one? Yeah.
Yeah, it goes backwards from there, I believe.
Yeah, that would have been the last purchase that he made. Would have been, because Sean was here right then, Thanksgiving. You have on your phone, you could probably look up Thanksgiving, November 26th.
Yeah.
I mean, here's a $550 that he took out. Okay? There's Walmart, Safeway, Walmart, Steamboat Lumber, Ace Hardware, Safeway. This is a payment to, he owns Solid Core. He's got more businesses.
So he
That's him.
deposited $1,100 into his own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay? There's Walmart, another bill to me for $2,000. Now it's possible that he could have taken money out of that and paid Google. I don't know.
But that's nothing you ever authorized him to do.
We got the card. Okay, Bonnie wasn't quite clear on this. I did authorize the card, and it was a debit card, so Google couldn't take more and run wild with a credit card.
Right.
But when they delivered the card, they didn't deliver it down here. They dropped it off with him up there.
Yeah. So just so you know,
McDonald's. Here's another solid core. $2. $6. And he ate at McDonald's all the time.
yeah.
Okay. Solid core 570. Wendy's, Yampa, Sinclair, Walmart, Safeway. Debit card withdrawal. Debit card withdrawal. R&B cars. 2,000. 1,000. Another solid core. So I don't.
Are you able to make copies of that? I don't think I got.
I did give it to you
Did
originally.
you?
And
I can-
I can make.
I can either look through, and if I don't have them, but I'll have to get back to the office to do that. And you can either scan them and email them, or I can come pick
Just
them
let
up.
me know what you need. And I'm sure there's other stuff that's going to pop up because there was so much.
Yeah. And then while we're here too, so just so you know, that was Thanksgiving 2020.
That right there, from that website, that was the total sales for this Christmas season.
Yeah.
And I spent $28,000 on Google Ads.
So that was for the 2021 Christmas season.
Okay, this starts on August 24th. Okay, so and that would have been ads paid for prior to that. So here's 1,000, 2,000, 3,500, 45, 55, 65, 75, 85. I'm going to include these. And there's his advance on commission there. So 8.5, 9.5, 10.5, 11.5. 12.5, 13.5, 14.5, 15.5, 16.5, 17.5, 18.5, 19, 20, 21.5, 22.5, 23.5, 24.5, 27.5, 30.5. I was wrong. 31.5, 32.5. 33.5, 35,500. Okay. And it was supposed to be 15% of sales.
So and to be clear, this is True North Furs, and you're writing the check out, and you're giving it to Moses.
I'm using, yes, True North Furs. All the Google stuff, okay, came out of True North Furs. Now, I did not include, okay, when we added that up, I did not include everything from the year.
Right.
There's other stuff here from, okay.
That would have just been for this selling season, basically. Should have provided ads
Yeah, for
leading
this
into
time
that.
period.
Yeah.
That's the total sales, and I've got 2 returns to make.
Yeah. Okay.
So
So just taking through the process, he comes to you and says, "We need $3,000 for Google Ads." What do you do?
and we thought, Moses said you're not bidding high enough. I said, well, let's try bumping it up and see what happens. Okay, and we're still not getting any sales. He said you've got a lot of competition this year. Okay.
Okay.
And we're still not. We get an occasional sale, but I've got organic rankings too. And I'm looking, and we're kind of low on the All right, and I'm pouring money into this stuff. And I think that he just quit hoping for a legitimate return.
Right.
I think at this point, and I'm guessing, okay, I think that he just decided he was gonna split and grab what he could.
Yeah. So again, I just want to go through this process. So he says it's time to pay for ads this month or this week or whatever.
It was weekly almost.
So he gets a hold of you and says we need money for ads. You write the check out. Who do you write the check to? I see on here you put like to Google.
Not to Google. True North Furs ads.
So on your actual check you would write to Google.
Down here, I wrote Google pay-per-click ads for True North Furs
Okay.
on the check.
Okay. Pay to the order of Google.
Yes.
You hand the check to Moses.
Yes. Now, as I told you too, I said there's too many checks. I'm just going to give you $5,000.
Yeah.
Okay, and I wanted to do 10.
Yeah.
Okay, but we did 5, and then he came back to me, okay, and said Google will not accept a $5,000 check. It's got to be 2, 3, 4,000.
Yeah.
Okay, which I thought was really why would, I never
Yeah.
heard of.
Didn't think they'd take anything.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Okay, but the fact is that the bank reports that stuff to the IRS.
Yeah.
There's some reporting requirement, and I'm not 100% sure exactly of what it is.
So you
There's
believe the
records.
concern would be it's going to get reported to the IRS that money went not to Google but to something else, and he's going to leave
I'm guessing.
he's
Your
gonna
guess
leave
is
an
as
easy
good as
track.
mine.
Okay.
So now he brought the check back, and I told you it sat there.
For almost 7 weeks.
Yeah,
And then
right in that little box behind the phone. So every time we're on the phone, that check's looking at me.
yeah.
Every time we go to the bathroom down that hallway,
Yeah.
okay. And then when I went out I got calls from clients with the other business, and I had to go out to the barn, okay. And he got up. Bonnie's in here. Bonnie's she's got lupus, and you know what a TIA is?
I don't.
It's a mini stroke.
Okay.
She's had 8 or 10 of them.
Okay.
Okay. And Moses knows that, and she can be diverted easily. He could say, what's this and this for on the paperwork? And walked over there and grabbed the check.
Yeah.
And less than an hour after he was gone, I asked Bonnie, where's that check at?
It's gone. Did you ever follow up with your bank if that check was ever cashed or attempted to be cashed? Obviously it wasn't cashed, you guys put a stop payment on it.
This was the day that it disappeared. And I told her right away, and she's really good and diligent.
Okay. And that was
All this paperwork all that paperwork
Yeah.
there is dealing with Moses.
Yeah. So the day it went missing, you put the stop payment on it.
Yes.
Okay. We had some confusion that it was on the 12th, but on the day it went missing, you stopped payment. So it was never cashed. And have you?
He couldn't cash it. What he could do is deposit it, as I found out later, digging deep, he could deposit it if he had, as a business, okay, he could have an account. In his Google account, he could have his business accounts in there.
Okay.
It could have gone into his Google account. Supposed to go, he told me it was going into my Google account. And I come to find out, I don't even have a Google account for ads.
Okay.
He was handling, I said, Moses, I'm really good at my business. Okay, I'll handle this. You handle that. Let's both make some money.
Yeah. You mind if I take pictures of these?
Sure.
Okay, so it basically starts right here. This is
Well,
what's
this
Big
is-
Commerce.
Big Commerce. That's another story.
Okay.
All right.
Not-
Moses got me involved with Big Commerce shopping cart.
Okay.
Okay. And supposedly Big Commerce, the story that I got was Big Commerce refund. We sold 2 fur blankets for about $6,000, a little more, a little less, I forget. And he told us that Big Commerce decided that they didn't allow the sale of furs on their website. They're in California. Okay, and they refunded the money to our clients.
Okay.
That was the story that I got. So we moved shopping carts.
Okay.
Now, this, every one of these was Moses related. Okay. One thing too, to kind of reconfirm, because to reconfirm that we had an agreement. Okay. Did you get all these? I'm sorry.
I'm not.
Go ahead and finish. Where'd you end?
Yeah, that was the last one I got. So.
Okay, go ahead and finish that before we.
Okay.
So, yeah, when Moses would sometimes come to me and said, "I'm broke. I need to eat. I don't have any money," and I'd give him, $200, $300, $400.
Right.
And it was written out. The checks were written out. Okay, when that happened. Okay, it was an advance on commission.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and there's stuff on here. And these texts.
Figured I'd just get this one. Getting all the photos.
You're missing that in the corners.
So this is this where you're telling me where there's a payment from Albert Deeds where it's going into this account? This one? You said there were transfers from.
Okay, this, I think, was our overdraft protection from our bank account that went into the PayPal debit card because he was spending
Gotcha.
everything, okay?
Okay.
And actually, it was Bonnie's and my bank account that had the overdraft protection on it. And I've got another copy of that somewhere that's a better copy than that has better descriptions on it. Sean, my
Right,
nephew-
and that may be the one that you had sent me. It had
Yes.
like you had highlighted, and I thought
I
I,
gave you
saw
cop-
it. Thought I saw it somewhere.
paper
where-
copies. It could be here. I gave you some paper copies.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'll be happy to provide those again. I think I can.
So here's another payment from, now instead of Albert Deeds, it's a payment from True North Furs into this account for 500.
I mean, none of this was us. This was all Moses.
Right, but what I'm saying is he's also transferring money out of your accounts into this account. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Our bank has overdraft protection that protects us from any,
Right. So
he was spending all the money out of the account.
yeah, so here's True North Furs again for 500. Do you know if every time you have overdraft protection, it automatically drops a 500 to cover that?
I'm not sure about that.
Because there's another 500. 500. Okay.
Now, and I made two notes here that I was concerned about.
Okay.
Is Moses, his contention, as you saw on my phone, is that he's holding my store hostage because I never paid him.
Right.
Okay. He never submitted a bill. He never had I don't know how to handle that.
Well, you guys had a civil agreement that did you write out that he was going to be paid by sales, percentage of sales, correct?
Not thoroughly.
Okay.
Okay.
But you also don't have any contract that says he will be paid
We have
no as an hourly wage or anything
no.
like that. Yeah.
The agreement was he lives here and does $800 a month worth of work. Now the IRS, this would probably be civil. You're supposed to report any trades of any value, trades, to the IRS. My understanding is that the IRS will assign a value.
Okay.
Okay. I mean,
I don't see any issue. I don't think that's anything to be concerned about because you've got so many agreements that he's signed, for
if we do
Pay
if we
for
do
performance.
$500,000,
Yeah.
I sell him a lot for $1.
yeah, pay for performance
And
bonuses.
I would have followed through with anything. I've been in business here for 33 years.
Yeah.
I don't think you guys have ever seen a complaint about me ever.
Right.
Okay. I'm old school, handshake kind of thing,
Yeah.
and I've never run into somebody like Moses who evidently was planning this stuff out thoroughly.
Right. Yeah. I lost my train of thought there. I don't think there's a concern with his not being paid. I think his recourse for that is civil, not criminal in any way. And the potential really is that he's going to file a complaint with the Better Business Bureau or something along those lines.
I've got a AA rating.
Yeah. So, as far as a criminal aspect, we wouldn't be concerned with that.
Even if he basically stole my business.
Well,
I can't do business. His And I'm just providing you a bullet point or food for thought.
Yeah.
I mean, he's essentially got my business shut down illegally because he was, in essence, he was being paid. Compensation was based on performance and rent.
Yeah.
So he was being paid. He's just trying to extort money now.
Yes. I agree.
So it's a hard one. Mull that over,
Yeah.
see what you can come up with.
Yeah.
Okay. And it could be civil, I don't know. I hope not, but it could be.
Well, no. I'm saying his recourse against you for not being paid would be a civil matter. You know.
Yeah.
But all of this stuff certainly appears to be criminal. Like I said, this part I see pretty clearly. I don't see a lot of issues with this. I know we have witnesses who were there when this purchase, especially the car purchase, and it just really builds that case. You know, we have people that have witnessed him using this to buy this car. They
You
were
do?
so
Angie.
yeah.
Okay.
So this I see pretty clearly. This, where the Google ad money is going, I don't see as clearly because you have to get to where the money went, and then once it gets to the
I got it.
deposit.
I see.
So this is the one I really
got
got
to
to.
depend on how deep the detective digs.
Yes, and we're talking about $35,500 in deposits, plus or minus, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
We're looking at $35,000. As far as, you know, crimes that we'll be looking into with this, obviously this is unlawful use of a financial transaction device. Theft and like criminal impersonation, kind of. Identity theft, basically. He took something.
It's financial abuse of a senior by a person in a position of trust.
How old are you?
My wife is 72.
Right. Here's going to be potentially an issue with that. Just so we're clear from the get go.
I'm 68. I'll be 68.
Yeah. This was issued to you, and you told me that she didn't.
The money that came out of our joint accounts
Yeah.
came out of her money too.
Right. And absolutely, we'll look into that also. Just write it down so I don't forget. But like I said, the financial transaction device, identity theft, along those lines.
Okay.
If we can prove that he was using a computer to further this, there's a crime called computer crime, where you basically, it's just using any computer network to further your criminal act. That's just another thing that we'll be thinking about.
I have a feeling that he's going to make you work really hard. Okay. He doesn't cover his tracks completely, but he's pretty damn smooth. Is there anybody down at the sheriff's office that's really good with computers?
Well, typically what we do is if it's going to be something that's very specialized, we can reach out to somebody who has the computer knowledge. Like when we need a phone broken into or something, we have a warrant for it. A lot of times there's pretty expensive software you can buy, or you can send it to somebody to forensically analyze. But if you get a lot of computer information, we reach out. It's not like we have to, if we're not capable of doing it, it just doesn't get done. We'll try to find somebody who can.
Okay.
So,
Now, is it legal for him to have my business shut down? Put us out of business.
right. And the way I see that right now is that he assigned himself as the owner of that website, that shopping cart, and he was just facilitating business for you. So, I don't know.
He told me that I was the owner.
So, again, I know you said you're kind of a handshake. Anything in writing that says, I'm gonna make this website for you, and
Here's something else. Okay, on my now he had access to come down and take a shower and stuff.
Yeah.
One other thing that I noticed. Okay. When this transpired, there was a lot of emails that went back and forth between he and I.
Yeah.
Okay, some of them a little bit heated, especially from my side.
Yeah.
And somebody got on my computer and deleted all those emails.
Right. Not somebody.
I think he's able to follow me right now.
Yeah.
I mean, what is a hidden?
Hidden network.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a fair chance he can remote log in. If he, it's not difficult. People do it over customer support all the time for computer issues. You call Microsoft and they remotely log in. A lot of fraudulent things happen doing that too, but it's not that difficult. So, I think for right now, I've got a lot of information. I'm gonna go talk to our detective, see which direction.
Do whatever you can do, I'm happy to provide any time from me that you need.
Okay.
I'm sure that we can find some other stuff. There's so much of.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, I'm fortunate that I have a wife that keeps really good records.
Yeah.
Okay, because like I said, I'm kind of a handshake guy,
Yeah.
and I mean, that's all Moses right there.
Yeah.
And a lot of this is stuff that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So I guess it depends on how deep the detective wants to dig. I wouldn't bet my life, but I'd bet significant money that those Google payments did not go from my ads.
Yeah. Again, you didn't.
They certainly didn't go into my Google account, because Tom, the guy who I'm trying to get Moses to release this stuff to,
Yeah.
so we can get up and working again, says. I mean, he told me that Moses sent him a screenshot of something, and Tom noticed that he had to log in to get to that point, but yet Moses is telling Tom that he's not unable to log in because I have control of it.
Yeah.
So anyhow, look, I don't want to take up your whole day. It's 11:30.
Just for future reference, I know you probably have all this stuff, but my cell phone number's on there, my email is on there. However you feel comfortable contacting me. I know email.
I'm not going to email.
Email might be an issue, but my cell's on there. Right now, I work Sunday through Wednesday days. I know you talked to John Dashel, the sergeant on the other side of the week. If something comes up, go ahead and give him a call. But if it's not pressing, you can just call me and leave me a message.
John said he was familiar with Moses too, and that's all they could tell me.
Yeah.
But
We're all familiar with Moses. I mean, it's a small community.
Yeah,
So,
it is.
like I said, for now, we'll go with that. And
Okay.
I'll,
I would like to. I mean, I would really like to pursue this, because I think that, number one, I feel really betrayed.
Yeah.
Because I tried to be really good to the guy, and he just flew apart on me. Okay, and the stuff that I was trying to overlook and give him some trust and give him the benefit of the doubt has now proven to be.
Right.
So,
Okay. I'm going to conclude the interview and stop recording.